Hey guys, in this video I'm going to build my own load balancer. So first of all, what is a load balancer? Right? Let's look it up and see what it means. Load balancing refers to the process of distributing a set of tasks over a set of resources or computing units with the aim of making their overall processing more efficient. Load balancing techniques can optimize the response time for each task, avoid unevenly overloading computing nodes while other computing nodes are left idle. So what this means is load balancing is basically distributing the load, like the name suggests, to multiple computing units. Why we do this is, like they've mentioned here, we don't want to overload a particular computing node with a lot of requests and then keep the others idle. The resources cost money, and if you're spending money on them, you should efficiently use it. So a task can be any kind of processing. Like for example, the simplest example would be of an HTTP server. So the task of the request google.com would be to serve the homepage of Google search. So some of the other uses of load balancing is something called high availability, which basically means that when you have multiple computing units and one or more of them go down, you should have other set of computing units to serve the request regardless. So that way your service is always available. You can read up more about load balancing on Wikipedia here if you go further. So let me list down what all I'm going to cover in this video. Firstly, we need to define tasks, right? So for our task, I'm going to build an HTTP server that will just return the name of the server itself. So secondly, I'm going to build a load balancer. So to demonstrate this, I'm going to create, say, 5 HTTP servers and 1 load balancer. So load balancer will be responsible for routing the request to one of those HTTP servers. So since these HTTP servers are responding with the name of the server, we will know which server the request went to. So for a load balancer to route a request to a particular server, there are many strategies used. For this particular video, I'm going to use a strategy called round robin. Round robin is basically just cycling the request through all the servers equally. If you're interested to learn more about round robin, you can Google it. It's a pretty simple concept. So our resources will be represented by these 5 servers. The request is the task, and we have a load balancer. So for the HTTP server, I'm just going to copy paste an example code for Python's Flask. Let's run this server and see if it's working. So I need to import the module Flask. So I'm going to create a virtual environment and install all the dependencies in that. Let's run it now and check. Okay, so the server is running on port 5000 by default. Let's run this on the browser and see if it works. Yeah, so we're getting hello world as the response. So our server is ready right now. Okay, so we need the server to print its name. So let's give the server a name. Let's use some creativity and call it server1. Yes, so our creative name appears here. So now we need to build the load balancer itself. So let's create a Go file and then start building it. So for the load balancer to work, we have to first listen to HTTP requests. So to do that, Go has a standard package called net/HTTP, which helps in listening to HTTP requests and serving the response based on a handler function. So first let's create a function that will handle a request. So in a way, a load balancer is also an HTTP server, except it won't be serving anything on its own. It will only be forwarding the request to a node which will actually do the handling of the request. So let's call this function forward request. So the signature of this function should match the handler function defined in net/HTTP. Let's handle all the requests that come to the root of this domain. So that registers the handler with net/HTTP. So now we have to start listening. So for now, let's listen on port 8000 by default. Let's run this and see if we're getting the correct response. Okay, let's try making a request to localhost 8000. Okay, it says hello from load balancer. So the HTTP server part of the load balancer is working. So right now it is directly printing the response hello from load balancer. But now we want to forward the request to the Python server that we created. So there is another package called HTTP util, which will let us create a single host reverse proxy. What this means is a reverse proxy is an entity that represents multiple servers. So you can think of it like a one-to-many sort of a mapping, where the one is the load balancer and many is the computing units. So as far as the rest of the world is concerned, there's only one server, but this one server is balancing the load and routing the requests to multiple servers. So let's use the HTTP util package to create a single host reverse proxy per computing unit. So we've decided to have 5 servers that will handle the requests. So let's use the HTTP util package to create a reverse proxy for forwarding the requests. So this function takes a URL as input. For now, let's assume that we have a function called getServer which returns the URL. So we pass in this URL in this function. This creates a proxy. So this proxy has a function called serve/HTTP which will take the response writer and the request as inputs. Once this function is called, the request will immediately be forwarded to the server that is at this URL. Now we have to implement this getServer function which returns a URL that we have to forward the request to. For now, let's just return a static URL. Let's see if this setup is working. So if I make a request to localhost 8000, ideally a Python server should get hit. So I should be running both the servers right now. Let's open up a bigger terminal and then run it. So Python server is running. and our Go server is running. So let's make a request on the browser to localhost 8000. So as you can see here, we made a request to localhost 8000, which is the load balancer, but we're getting server 1 as the response because the request got routed to this Python server. So the load balancer is successfully forwarding the requests. So now all we have to do is run multiple instances of the server and then dynamically return different URLs from this get server function and route it to those servers. So let's define a server list that holds a list of servers that we can route to. So we're going to host those 5 servers in 5 different ports so that we get different URLs. So now in this get server function, we have to return one of these URLs each time. So to make sure that we return different URL every time, we'll have to somehow cycle through them using round robin and then return that URL. So to make sure that we don't land the request on the same server again and again, we need to store the server we used last time. Let's create a variable called last served index, which will hold the index of the server that we served last. So every time get server is called, we should increment the last served index by 1 and then return the URL that is at that index. But if we keep incrementing this by 1, after 5, we will start getting an index error. So we have to make sure that after 4, this circles back to 0. So what we can do for that is we can keep adding by 1 and then take a modulo of 5. So this will make sure that the range is always within 5. So let's make a small change to our Python server. Let's take this as a command line argument. So this, we can give the name of the server as a command line argument now. So we can run multiple instances of this server and then use the load balancer to route the requests. Oh, sorry, I forgot to change the port of this. So I'm going to take the port also as a command line argument. So the first argument will be the name of the server, second argument will be the port. This is the last server which has the port 5004. So all 5 servers are running now and all the 5 routes are defined in our server list array from port 5000 to 5004. Now let's see if this logic is load balancing across all those servers. So let's just restart our Go server once. It's time to make the request. So I'm hitting port 8000. Let's see which server it lands on. So it's landing on server 2. So I refresh this page. It's still landing on server 2. Okay, for some reason the request is always landing on server 2. Let's debug why this is happening. Oh, so I forgot to increment the last served index. Now when we return the get server, we also increase the last served index to the next number. Actually scratch this, let me make a small change. So I'm going to do the maths here itself and then use that as the index. Okay, maybe I'll call this next index and then in the end, I'm going to equate last served index with the next index. This is much neater. I'm going to restart the server and then hit refresh. We're on server 1 now. Okay. Refresh again, server 2, refresh, and then refresh again. So it's circling back to 1 also. So as you can see now, it's going through all the servers. So if you look at the logs, all of them would have gotten equally. So let's add some log in our Go code to see which server we routed it to. Let's create a curl command and then bombard the load balancer with multiple requests and see what it logs. So as you can see, for each request, it returns the URL that it used. If I hit this again, so it gives you the next URL. So I'm going to call this inside a for loop and observe the log. I'm not sure if this is the correct syntax. Okay, I should enclose that in curly brackets. So 10 requests in a row. So as you can see, it's equally distributing the load across all the servers. So let's say one of the server goes down. So I'm going to stop this 4th server and see what happens. So I'm going to make this 20 to make it a little more dramatic. So you can see that every 5th request is failing. But so generally load balancers have a mechanism where they keep performing health checks of all the servers to keep a track of which server is up and which server is down, and they route requests only to the servers that are up. Maybe in the next video I'll cover how to build a health check functionality for a load balancer. So as far as our current load balancer is concerned, you can keep adding how many of our servers to this and then it'll keep routing requests to all of them equally. You could also read this list from a config file or a database. So that's it for this video. Thank you. See you next time.